Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 225 to 226 based on novel. So let's start. The moment the voice echoed, the aura of a Nirvana Scryer cultivator immediately spread out and formed a storm. This storm swept by the plant and forcibly shook the golden runes off. An illusory shadow appeared over the broken plant. This was someone wearing a black robe and completely covered in a dark fog. Wang Lin's expression was still calm as he looked at the black-robed figure and coldly said, "A mere Nirvana Scryer origin soul. I want to see how you're going to make me pay with my life." Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal, and with a point of his finger, the wither Dao pair on this right hand flew out. When the beast bone appeared, a ghostly light flashed within its eyes. A powerful evil aura spread out and grey light appeared on the plant. The black-robed man raised his head and looked at Wang Lin without even looking at the plant and flew away. The plant below him immediately collapsed and scattered. Strands of purple gas came out from the plant that collapsed and entered the black-robed figure. For an instant, the figure began to turn solid. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he took a step forward and his two fingers formed a sword. He pointed forward and countless bolts of thunder appeared from the void, forming a thunderstorm. With Wang Lin's guidance, the thunderstorm closed in on the black-robed man. The black-robed man's expression was gloomy and he immediately retreated while his hands formed a seal. A round, black screen appeared before him. The moment the thunderstorm arrived, a thunderous explosion echoed within the cave. The entire cave began to collapse on a large scale. The black-robed man let out a muffled groan and quickly retreated. "Far away, cultivator, if there is an issue, we can talk about it." This old man is Liu Qingyun, Corpse Sect Resentment Hall Vice Hall Master. The black-robed man was extremely shocked. He had just awakened, so his mind was still a blur. However, after he became sober, he found that the person who awakened him was a Nirvana Scryer cultivator. If he still had his body, he wouldn't have been afraid, but now he no longer had a body. Also, this person wasn't the only Nirvana Scryer cultivator. The big-headed boy was also a Nirvana Scryer cultivator, and although the puppet wasn't, it was at the peak of the corporeal yang stage. The more he looked at the three, the more shocked he became. Not to mention the fact he didn't have a body, even if he did, he would have to immediately escape when facing them. The only possible way for him to fight would be if he could successfully possess the giant demon clan body, as he would be able to send someone away. Then he would use the power of the body to fight another and use his own spells to fight the last one. However, all of this was merely in his mind. The black-robed man wryly smiled in his heart and quickly said, "Fellow cultivator, I'm afraid this is a misunderstanding. I have just awakened and said some words that might have offended fellow cultivator, so I hope you will forgive me. If fellow cultivator likes this giant demon clan body, I can gift it to you as a token of friendship." As he spoke, he continued to retreat. Wang Lin didn't say a word as he moved like lightning after the black-robed man. Faint ripples appeared under his feet and his eyes shined as he chased after the black-robed man. Early stage Nirvana Scryer origin soul. A weakened Nirvana Scryer origin soul. With this, I'm confident in allowing Tarshan's body to reach the Nirvana Scryer stage. Liu Qingyun's eyes were filled with caution and he secretly complained. The reason he chose this half-abandoned planet was because there was nothing of value here to attract cultivators at this level. The plan was to quietly spend thousands of years here to possess this body and then return to the hall to compete for the position of Hall Master. However, he never would have imagined to attract a cultivator of this level here at the final moments. His mind quickly turned and he immediately thought that this was a scheme by the other Vice Hall Masters. The three of them must have received some unknown benefits to come and destroy his base. They must have planned to attack him while he was still in his origin form state and wiped him out here. Damn it. In order to not attract the attention of the other Vice Hall Masters, I was extremely cautious. I didn't even send any cultivators under me to protect me and only secretly manipulated some things. I didn't expect my location to still be found. Liu Qingyun was gloomy, and as he retreated, he carefully looked at Wang Lin's group. The more he looked at them, the more unfamiliar they appeared. He was a vice hall master of the corpse sect. Perhaps he hadn't seen all the yin and yang cultivator in the Alliance star system, but he had seen almost every cultivator who had reached the Nirvana Scrya stage. After all, not many cultivators could reach the Nirvana Scrya stage in the Alliance star system. In particular, that big-headed boy made him feel very confused. The big-headed boy's cultivation was at the Nirvana Scrya stage, but he couldn't feel any domain from him. Instead, he felt a powerful source of celestial spiritual energy. This celestial. Liu Qingyun's eyes widened and he retreated even faster. You can't escape. Ripples appeared under Wang Lin's feet and he suddenly disappeared. This almost made Liu Qingyun lose his wits. He screamed, spatial bending. His origin soul immediately collapsed into countless specks of light. The specks of light scattered and escaped upward like crazy. Those other Vice Hall masters sure paid big this time. To be able to invite a Nirvana Scrya cultivator who can use spatial bending, the price they paid must be unimaginable. Liu Qingyun was shaken, but at this moment, he was too busy to ponder it. Despair began to fill his heart. A cultivator who had mastered spatial bending was invincible among cultivators of the same level. They could advance and retreat as they wished. Fighting against someone like that was a nightmare. His origin soul turned into a ray of light and quickly escaped. However, Wang Lin stepped out from the void and mercilessly slammed his hand down. The world suddenly shook, and the powerful force caused the pieces of Liu Qingyun's body to fuse once more. His face was pale and he was about to retreat. A foolish laughter suddenly entered his ears. The big-headed boy shook his big head and blocked Liu Qingyun's path. In the distance, Ta Shan quickly closed in. Liu Qingyun bitterly smiled. He knew that he couldn't escape from a cultivator who had mastered spatial bending. He let out a sigh and said, "Fellow cultivator, there is no life or death feud between us. Can you leave me a path to survival? I'll definitely repay you." Wang Lin looked at Liu Qingyun and slowly asked, "How will you repay me?" Liu Qingyun clenched his teeth and said, "I have the origin soul of a Nirvana Scrya cultivator, how about that?" This was the origin soul of his mortal enemy. Many years ago, he used the power of the corpse sect to destroy his enemy's body and took the origin soul. He originally wanted to use it to refine a puppet, but at this moment of life and death, he was willing to give it up. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral and he calmly said, "Oh? Bring it here." Liu Qingyun's eyes lit up as he looked at Wang Lin and said, "Fellow cultivator, if I take it out and you still don't let me go." Before he finished speaking, Wang Lin frowned and coldly looked at Liu Qingyun. He coldly said, "I'll give you 3 breaths of time to consider." Liu Qingyun silently pondered before letting out a sigh. He touched between his brows with his right hand. There was a ripple and then a mirror appeared. After the mirror appeared, there was a flash of light and the origin soul of a middle-aged man slowly appeared. Liu Qingyun no longer hesitated. He sent the origin soul forward and it landed in Wang Lin's hand. After carefully looking at the origin soul, Wang Lin nodded. This origin soul was indeed that of a Nirvana Scrya cultivator. However, the mind was already gone, so it was only a shell of an origin soul. After taking the origin soul, Wang Lin shook his head. "This isn't enough to trade for your life." Li Qingyun wryly smiled. He knew that the thing he gave was far too little compared to what the other Vice Hall masters must have paid. After pondering a while, his face was filled with uncertainty. A moment later, he suddenly jerked his head up as he clenched his teeth and said, "Fellow cultivator, there is one thing I'm sure you will be satisfied with." As he spoke, there was a flash of viciousness in his eyes. His right hand touched the mirror that had appeared and a powerful pressure suddenly came out of it. Bang bang, bang bang. The sound of a heart beating came from the mirror, and after that, a corpse floated out. This corpse was completely red, and the moment it appeared, a monstrous flame filled the world. This flame was so intense that even the big-headed boy's expression changed. "This is the Fire Spirit Corpse, rank 12 on my corpse sect's corpse ranking. If one can successfully possess this corpse, then no fire spell in the world would be able to harm you. In addition, you would be able to control the fire of the world. The value of this corpse is extremely high and should be enough to exchange for my life. As Liu Qingyun spoke, he immediately threw the corpse at Wang Lin. The fire corpse was very fast and arrived near Wang Lin in an instant. However, as it got close, it suddenly opened its eyes and revealed a crazed light. Liu Qingyun's expression turned ferocious and he shouted, "Explode!" The fire corpse collapsed. The power didn't affect planet Suzaku, it was all trapped in this small area. This way, its full power could be displayed. An unimaginable amount of flames suddenly charged into the sky and spread. In an instant, all the clouds disappeared and cracks appeared in the sky. This flame was too powerful, so Ta Shan had to retreat. Even the big-headed boy's expression was pale as he retreated. He knew that if the fire corpse had collapsed before him, he would not have been able to escape. He could have never guessed that Liu Qingyun would dare to fight when he was at such disadvantage. This was the first time the big-headed boy had gained a deep impression of alliance cultivators. A mad laughter came from Liu Qingyun, then his ferocious figure flashed and he charged straight for the sky. With his personality, he would naturally compromise. Everything he had done was deliberate to confuse the others for this moment. If the collapse of the fire corpse spread out, it couldn't even be enough to affect the planet. However, if he were to concentrate the power, even though it still wasn't enough to affect the planet, he was confident no one of the same cultivation level as him could withstand it. Although it pains my heart to lose the fire corpse, to use it to destroy a cultivator that can use spatial bending was well worth it. After this person dies, the other two can't catch me at all. As Liu Qingyun laughed, he headed for the sky. He planned to return to the corpse sect as soon as possible to choose a body. As for the other Vice Hall Masters, he intended to get his revenge on them. "You can't escape." The cold and relentless voice was like the cold wind when it reached Liu Qingyun's ears. His body trembled and his eyes were filled with disbelief. His body stopped moving. Wang Lin's figure appeared before Liu Qingyun. He was calm and there were no injuries on his body. The image of a furnace slowly disappeared around Wang Lin. Not only was Liu Qingyun filled with disbelief, even the big-headed boy in the distance also gasped and his eyes became filled with shock. He knew that Wang Lin was strong, but he didn't think Wang Lin could have escaped without a scratch. He no longer dared to go against Wang Lin anymore, he was now even more afraid of Wang Lin. Wang Lin coldly looked at Liu Qingyun, took a step, and then disappeared. Liu Qingyun was terrified as he anxiously said, "Fellow cultivator, it was a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. This time, I'll really give you a treasure to trade for my life." "I have." Without waiting for him to finish, Wang Lin's figure appeared behind Liu Qingyun just as he turned around to escape. Both of Wang Lin's fingers contained the thunder of the heavens. As the thunder rumbled in the sky, Wang Lin pressed down on the center of Liu Qingyun's back. There was a loud bang and Liu Qingyun was knocked away. His face was pale and his body was no longer solid, it was rapidly dissipating. Wang Lin had clearly seen through Liu Qingyun's trick. He had grown up in the Alliance star system and had witnessed too many sinister schemes. If he believed Liu Qingyun, then he wouldn't be Wang Lin. When Liu Qingyun took out the fire corpse, Wang Lin had already noticed something wrong and activated the ancient god furnace. The moment the fire corpse collapsed, he easily avoided everything with the ancient god furnace. Wang Lin had his reasons for giving Liu Qingyun this opportunity. He knew that as the Vice Hall Master of the corpse sect, Liu Qingyun must have had some life-saving measures. If Wang Lin had just attacked, then, during the heat of battle, it would have been difficult to kill this person without suffering injuries. Thus, Wang Lin simply waited for Liu Qingyun to use his ace so he could easily avoid it. The moment Liu Qingyun used his ace would also be the moment he died. In truth, everything was as Wang Lin expected. This time, he didn't hold back. After attacking, he merged with the world once more and charged directly at Liu Qingyun once more. Liu Qingyun was very smart. As his origin soul was dissipating, he let out a wry smile and realized what Wang Lin was thinking. He secretly regretted his actions. Wang Lin's figure appeared once more, and as he pointed with his finger, countless bolts of thunder shot out. Thunder rumbled in the sky as bolts of lightning descended on Liu Qingyun. Then Wang Lin's fingers continued to land on Liu Qingyun. Each finger caused Liu Qingyun's origin soul to almost collapse, and he continued to retreat. Seeing that he had almost no chance to escape, Liu Qingyun's eyes revealed a flash of viciousness and he shouted, "If you want to kill me, then be buried with me." There was madness in Liu Qingyun's eyes as he chose to self-destruct without any hesitation. This wasn't all of his origin soul. With his cunning, he would never take this risk. Back then, he split off a small portion of his origin soul to save his life in a moment of crisis. At this moment, he decided to give it his all. A destructive aura came out from his origin soul. He had a ferocious expression as he was about to explode. The self-destruction of a Nirvana Scryer cultivator was far more powerful than the fire corpses. Once he exploded, planet Suzaku would collapse. All life on the planet aside from a select few would die. Its effect, the cultivation planet crystal, would be unimaginable. This was one of the main concerns Wang Lin had that prevented him from attacking right away. Seeing that Liu Qingyun chose to explode, Wang Lin was calm and softly said, "Celestial spell, stop." In an instant, the stop spell suddenly appeared. This spell's power was increased after infusing it with the celestial origin energy from Qing Shui. Liu Qingyun's exploding origin soul was frozen in place. Wang Lin arrived in front of Liu Qingyun's origin soul. As he grabbed the origin soul, ripples appeared under his feet, then he disappeared without a trace. Ripples appeared somewhere in the Alliance star system far away from planet Suzaku. Wang Lin appeared and quickly placed restrictions on Liu Qingyun's origin soul. Then his left hand mercilessly slapped Liu Qingyun's origin soul. The origin energy in his body surged out and shook Liu Qingyun's origin soul. This caused the destructive aura coming from Liu Qingyun's origin towel to immediately dissipate. After placing countless restrictions on the origin soul to completely stop its self-destruction, Wang Lin threw the origin soul into his bag. He then turned around, ripples appeared under his feet, and he disappeared into the sky. The big-headed boy's pupils contracted and his fear of Wang Lin became even stronger in his heart. He knew that if he was facing that collapsing Nirvana Scryer origin soul, he wouldn't have been able to deal with it so easily. If he was careless, he could have even been injured. In particular, when Liu Qingyun chose to self-destruct, the big-headed boy's scalp tinged. However, what shocked him even more was Wang Lin's calm expression that made it seem as if everything was going as planned. Wang Lin's actions were extremely fluid as he took away the origin soul. All of this shocked the big-headed boy. He truly respected Wang Lin at this moment. Serving as this person's servant is not an insult to my status. The big-headed boy took a deep breath. Ripples appeared in the sky before him and Wang Lin appeared. Wang Lin didn't say anything to him before looking down on the earth and saying, "Lei Ji, come out." The earth shook as Lei Ji's huge body slowly flew into the air. At this moment, he was still a bit weak. When he saw Wang Lin, his eyes contained a trace of awe. He was watching the battle just now, and he was very shocked by Wang Lin's strange spell and constantly calm expression. He stood there and respectfully said, "Lei Ji greets master. From now on, you are my mount. If you have any rebellious thoughts, your origin soul will be destroyed." When Wang Lin's eyes fell on Lei Ji felt as if 2 rays of sword energy had just pierced his eyes. His mind trembled and he quickly nodded. Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and took out a bottle. He threw it at Lei Ji and said, "Take out some of your heart blood and fill this bottle." With that, Wang Lin began to walk forward. Tarshan and the big-headed boy followed behind Wang Lin. Lei Ji held the small bottle and let out a sigh. Popping sounds came from his body and his body immediately contracted. He went from being thousands of feet tall and shrank until he was only 30 feet tall as he followed Wang Lin. At the same time, his heart ached as he pointed at this heart with his right hand. Blood flew out of his heart and made its way into the small bottle. Wang Lin had saved this giant demon clan ancestor for the trace of ancient god aura in his blood. Although Wang Lin's cultivation level was higher during his return to the Alliance star system, the danger he sensed was also increasing. He needed to refine his spells on planet Suzaku, and the first were his ancient god spells. With this blood, Wang Lin would be able to use some of the ancient god spells. Even his original body would be able to use them. At this moment, there was a sea of flames in the far eastern side of the Alliance star system. There was a planet inside this sea of flames that was completely red. It was covered in flames as if it was a burning cultivation planet. This planet was named the Holy Vermilion Bird Planet. The only things near it were the remains of a star that were scattered all over the place. It was as if this place had spent countless years burning. A ray of red light came from the distant stars. It was a young cultivator riding a firebird. He went into the sea of flames and disappeared. There was a towering vermilion bird statue that pierced the heavens on that planet. This statue emitted endless heat, and there were 3 elders sitting on top of the statue. At this moment, the youth's figure appeared thousands of feet away as if he couldn't withstand the heat. The moment he appeared, he started sweating like crazy. Report. The All-Heaven Army has occupied 60% of the western region. There are 11 teams coming from 11 different directions. The leaders are the newly bestowed 108 Celestials. The one taking the lead is the Vice Thunder Celestial, Shu Ting. Is there any trace of Shu Mu? After a moment of silence, one of the old men above the vermilion bird spoke. Although his voice was soft, the temperature suddenly rose as if there was a change in the laws. The youth quickly retreated hundreds of feet before he was barely able to hold on and said, All-Heaven Thunder Celestia Shu Mu's location is still unknown. We are currently searching for him. Another old man smiled. In less than 2 months, they only managed to take 60%. The All-Heaven cultivators are pretty strict. The last old man calmly said, let's see how the plan of the Cultivation Alliance works out. It should give the All-Heaven cultivators a profound lesson. Unfortunately, the Holy Emperor isn't here, or else my Holy Vermilion Bird Planet would also be able to obtain great benefits. On planet Suzaku in the Great Wang Dynasty Imperial Palace, all the Wang clan members had gathered in the square. They were all kneeling on the ground, and their expressions were changing between excitement and fear. It was completely silent. Before them was the Imperial Ancestral Hall. There were countless tablets hanging in the hall. However, it was not luxurious and instead was very simple. Wang Lin was standing inside the Ancestral Hall and was looking at the unfamiliar names on each of the tokens. Finally, he saw the tablet at the top which said Ancestor Wang Zhuo. Wang Lin silently pondered as scenes of Wang Zhuo from back then flashed before his eyes. Now that he had returned, they were separated by the heavens. Wang Zhuo had indeed fulfilled his promise to Wang Lin. He allowed Wang Lin to cultivate in peace while he guarded the Wang family descendants until his lifespan ended. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He felt like planet Suzaku was very unfamiliar when he returned this time. Even when it came to his own descendants, he felt no affection toward them. The only thing he felt was melancholy and pain in his heart. He couldn't find a trace of affection among these people. For the first time, he personally felt that the passage of time was like a ruthless river that washed away all his good memories of the past. Outside the Ancestral Hall, the Wang family descendants didn't even dare to breathe hard. Their heartbeats all accelerated as they carefully looked at the unfamiliar but yet familiar ancestor. The 8 elders were in front of all the Wang family descendants, and they were kneeling as well. As they silently looked at Wang Lin, it was as if they could feel the age and sadness from him. Wang Lin's gaze went down starting at the top tablet and then fell on one of the tablets. This tablet said Ancestor Wang Yu. Wang Lin had same vague impression of the name Wang Yu. Back when the Forsaken Immortal clan was in war with Suzaku, they were capturing young children that could cultivate. One of them was Wang Yu. That child's life also ended. The sadness around Wang Lin became even stronger. He felt a very complex emotion in his heart. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of years had passed. Looking back, the passage of time had caused everything to change. It was very difficult to find even one person he knew. As he pondered, he turned around and walked out of the Ancestral Hall. Looking at the people kneeling in the square, although they all contained his bloodline, he didn't feel like they were relatives. All of you are now on your own. No more cultivators will get involved with the mortal world. As for the Great Wang Dynasty, if anyone has the skill, then you can keep the inheritance for thousands of years. If all of you are muddled-headed and ruthless, then there is no need for this wealth. Although the things from before were because you were all affected by the resentment, this dynasty is filled with sadness. If this was caused by my Wang family, then all of you should just be civilians. After dealing with the karma of the Wang family, Wang Lin coldly looked at all of his descendants and then waves his sleeves before flying into the air. Ta Shan and the big-headed boy followed. The 30-foot-tall Lei Ji followed as well. After Wang Lin left, the square was completely silently. After a long time, the 8 elders stood up with gloomy expressions. They mercilessly looked around at the surrounding people and one of them coldly said, "We were wrong to anger our ancestor. From today onward, there will be new clan laws, and anyone who violates them will be killed." Wang Lin moved between the heavens and earth. After dealing with his descendants, the melancholy in his heart didn't decrease. He walked to the cloud sky sect. As he moved, his expression changed and he looked into the distance. He saw a centipede thousands of feet long quickly flying through the air with several cultivators on its back. One of the cultivators had the air of a celestial. He was wearing a yellow robe and had a sword on his back. The gentle wind caused the man's clothes to flutter and made him look every elegant. Sect Master Huang Long, 1. When Wang Lin saw this person, his eyes immediately narrowed and shined. The portrait he saw in the demon spirit land immediately appeared in his mind, 2. The centipede was very fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye over the horizon. However, Wang Lin could clearly feel a gaze looking at him from the back of the centipede. "Little fellow is not bad." A light chuckle entered Wang Lin's ear following that gaze. The laughter faded and finally disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin frowned slightly and looked at where the centipede disappeared. After pondering for a moment, Wang Lin headed toward the Cloud Sky sect. This whole matter was too strange, and Wang Lin didn't want to act carelessly. Tai Yang was still sitting in the square waiting for Wang Lin in the Cloud Sky sect. He knew Wang Lin would definitely come here. He didn't have much time left. His cultivation had degraded to the peak of the late stage of soul formation and could no longer break through back to soul transformation. He had slowly consumed all his lifespan. Originally, with his qualifications and Wang Lin's enlightenment, he shouldn't have ended up like this. However, an accident happened 100 years ago, but that accident was by his own will. On this day, a person slowly appeared in the sky before Tai Yang. Wang Lin stepped out and looked at the familiar scene, and finally, his gaze fell on Tai Yang. At this moment, Tai Yang stood up and his face was filled with excitement. He looked at Wang Lin, took a deep breath, and respectfully said, "Tai Yang greets benefactor." Wang Lin calmly asked, "Where is Ju are you?" Tai Yang revealed a complex expression. After silently pondering for a moment, he wryly smiled. "That child Ju are you left planet Suzaku 100 years ago." Wang Lin looked at the sky and the melancholy became even stronger. He let out a sigh as he looked at Tai Yang and said, "Is that the reason why your lifespan is ending and your cultivation degraded?" Tai Yang silently pondered and then nodded. It would be impossible for Ju Yu to leave planet Suzaku with her cultivation. In order to help her fulfill her wish, he had used his own life along with Ju Wutai's help and a large amount of celestial jades to help Ju Yu just barely reach the soul transformation stage. Nonsense. Wang Lin frowned as he looked at Tai Yang but didn't say any more. He slapped his bag of holding and large amount of celestial jades flew out and started hovering in the sky. Then Wang Lin's right hand reached toward the void. Popping sounds echoed while a large amount of celestial jades collapsed. The dense celestial spiritual energy condensed into balls in Wang Lin's hand. The surrounding area was filled with celestial spiritual energy. Holding the ball of celestial spiritual energy, Wang Lin pressed it into Tai Yang's body. Tai Yang's body trembled. He felt as if there was a fire burning inside his body. He took out more celestial jades and threw them out until they formed a small hill in the square. Wang Lin turned around and walked into the air. "Your cultivation degraded because of Ju Yu. This is karmic cause. Now I helped you recovered your cultivation. This is karmic effect. As for these celestial jades, consider them my thanks for taking care of my Wang family descendants. From now on, don't bother with matters of my Wang family, go cultivate in peace." Tai Yang's body trembled greatly. As the celestial spiritual energy surged through his body, his cultivation quickly recovered. He nodded toward Wang Lin's disappearing figure. 9 rays of light broke through the sky and quickly fell before Tai Yang. The 9 swords gave off a powerful burst of sword energy that swept the area. I gift these swords to you. Wang Lin's voice seemed to come from the distant void. It was like the ethereal clouds. After dealing with the karma at the Cloud Sky sect, Wang Lin flew into the sky. The yin and yang fishes appeared and slowly rotated above his head. After dealing with the karma of his descendants and the Cloud Sky sect, his understanding of karma suddenly increased. The enlightenment in my domain is the focus of the second step. According to the karma domain, everything that has karmic cause must have karmic effect. Only a complete karma can form a cycle, and only by completing countless cycles can I truly complete my karma. I didn't expect that me returning to planet Suzaku would be in line with this. Wang Lin let out a sigh and closed his eyes. His divine sense covered the entire planet. Karma domain. I must repay all those that had helped me. I must close all karma with those I wronged. While pondering, Wang Lin's divine sense was like a storm that continued to spread across planet Suzaku. Not long after, Wang Lin's divine sense existed everywhere on planet Suzaku. Planet Suzaku, rank 5 cultivation country of Zhao, the Hehuan sect. A beautiful woman was sitting in a cave cultivating in the back mountain of the Hehuan sect. The spot she was cultivating in was a special place for the inner sect members of the Hehuan sect. This place had several times more spiritual energy than outside. As she was cultivating, a chuckle came from outside the cave. Junior Sister Zhong, don't forget your promise. Since I let you cultivate in my cave for 1 month, you will have to be my cultivation partner for 3 days. Only 4 more days until 1 month has passed. This voice was filled with the intent to tease. After the laughing, the voice gradually left. The woman opened her eyes and let out a sigh. She was an outer disciple of the Hehuan sect. The spiritual energy outside was too thin to reach the 9th layer of qi condensation. She could only make her breakthrough here. In the family tree, the family's ancestor, Zhong Hu, 3, was also a cultivator. 1,000 years ago, he entered the Hengyu sect. Unfortunately, after 1,000 years, all of that is gone, so I could only become an outer disciple of the Hehuan sect. The woman had just closed her eyes to continue cultivating with a hint of bitterness when she looked ahead. Her eyes were filled with shock. She saw a young man in white silently appear. This young man looked normal, but there was an unspeakable aura coming from him. Wang Lin calmly looked at the woman before him. He slapped his bag of holding, causing spirit stones and celestial jades to fly out. There was even a flying sword. I knew your ancestor. The karmic cause of the past forms the karmic effect of today. Under the woman's dumbfounded gaze, Wang Lin let out a melancholy sigh and left. Zhong, who had already died. With Wang Lin's cultivation, he was able to detect a trace of Zhong Hu's bloodline in this woman. 1. The sect master of the Hengyu sect, first sect Wang Lin joined. 2. Chapter 617. 3. Wang Lin's friend from the Hengyu sect. He killed a disciple in charge of managing their duties and ran off. Later, Wang Lin met him and Wang Lin helped him kill his master, which led to the incident with the Teng family. Rank 4 cultivation country Huafen. A very beautiful woman in a palace dress was sitting in the hall of the war god temple. This woman was at the late stage of soul formation. There were celestial jades placed next to her. It was obvious she was attempting to reach the soul transformation stage. Before her sat a young man. Although he was a young man, he gave off an ancient aura. He was at the late stage of soul formation as well. While looking at the woman, he let out a sigh and said, "Junior Sister Ju, there aren't enough celestial jades to allow both of us to continue absorbing. You should go first. If you can reach the soul transformation stage, then our country of Hufen can be promoted." The woman silently pondered. A moment later, she looked at the man and softly said, "Senior brother Yang, if I can reach the soul transformation stage, then the 2 of us should become a cultivation pair." After she spoke, she let out a sigh. For some reason, she couldn't help but think of a person from the past. The man bitterly smiled and shook his head. "I don't have much lifespan left, so you don't need to do this. I'm doing this of my own will. Besides, I've heard that, He has returned to planet Suzaku. As the two people pondered, a person silently appeared in the hall. Yang Xiong, Juzihong, how have you two been? A melancholy voice echoed in the hall. The man and woman were startled and immediately looked over. Wang Lin looked at the two familiar figures that hadn't changed at all. This was due to the spirit liquid he gave them back in the foreign battleground. Wang Lin smiled as he looked at the two of them, but he didn't say much. He slapped his bag of holding and large amount of celestial jades flew out and filled the hall. For the two of you to be able to tie the knot, consider these celestial jades a gift from me. Wang Lin's words were filled with sincerity. He then took out some pills before he turned around and left. In the rank 5 cultivation country that the giant demon clan controlled, Kai, whose appearance hadn't changed much, but now he gave off an ancient aura. The giant demon clan members had much longer lifespans than normal cultivators, and Kai, who had already become the patriarch of the giant demon clan. He had reached the late stage of soul transformation and was only one step away from ascendant. However, given his powerful body and bloodline ability, he even dared to fight ascendant cultivators. During these hundreds of years of time, Kai, who had become even more dependable and now held a certain position on planet Suzaku. The giant demon clan was a backbone force of planet Suzaku. However, the passage of time couldn't wash away the melancholy he had for a friend. With his status, he naturally knew of Wang Lin's return. He even saw the battle between Wang Lin and the big-headed boy. His heart felt very complex emotions. On this day, while he was cultivating, he suddenly opened his eyes and his body trembled. Before him, Wang Lin's figure looked toward him. Brother Kai, who, long time no see. Seng Nyo. Kai, who had a bitter expression as he looked at Wang Lin and wasn't able to say anything for a long time. Don't mention things of the past anymore. As he spoke, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and large amount of celestial jades flew out, forming a small hill. At the same time, he took out a small bottle containing Lei Ji's blood. The celestial jades are to help you reach the ascendant stage. The small bottle contains the blood of your giant demon clan ancestor. It can help your bloodline ability. Goodbye, Kai Hu. Wang Lin let out a sigh and left. Kai Hu stared at where Wang Lin disappeared. The complex emotion in his eyes became even stronger. A very old man was sitting in a place filled with skeletons in the Sea of Devils. He was at the late stage of soul formation. At this moment, he absorbed large amount of yin energy and his face revealed a painful struggle. The veins on his face bulged, revealing red lines. As he absorbed yin energy, the black lines were suppressed. After a long time, he let out a long sigh. His face looked every tired and he was covered in sweat. Scarlet blood ancestor, if I, Li Chiching, don't get my revenge, then I'm not human. His face revealed a hideous expression and an unimaginable hatred had built up inside him. This hatred was almost monstrous. There was a pale blue circle within 1,000 feet of him. His cultivation had drawn the attention of some of the beasts in the Sea of Devils. The monsters quickly closed in, but they let out miserable screams when they touched those blue traces. Their bodies quickly withered. Just at this moment, the old man's eyes suddenly opened and his body moved in a flash. He appeared next to the demonic beast and grabbed onto it. He pounced on the beast, bit down on its neck, and mercilessly sucked. The demonic beast's body withered at a visible rate and soon became a mummy. The old man's body flashed and appeared next to another beast. This continued, and soon all the demonic beasts died. The old man's face turned slightly red. He took a deep breath as he returned to where he was cultivating. He looked out at the Sea of Devils and his eyes revealed a powerful sense of hatred. Scarlet blood ancestor, if it wasn't for you hunting my sister, how could she have met that Wang Lin? Li Chiching was Li Muwen's brother, and also her only family member. This scarlet blood ancestor was the cultivator that was hunting Li Muwen. Li Chiching's hatred for this person was extremely strong. He was able to find that this scarlet blood ancestor had come to the Sea of Devils, which was why Li Chiching had secretly come as well. He originally wanted to get revenge, but his cultivation level wasn't high enough and he instead was affected by a blood rune. Now he was living a life no better than death, but the hatred was even stronger. A flash of coldness appeared inside his eyes and he took a deep breath. He knew that every time the blood rune activated, the Scarlet Blood Ancestor would know his location, so he had to leave quickly. However, his pupils suddenly shrank, all the hair on his body stood up, and he looked straight ahead. He saw Wang Lin's figure appear dozens of feet away from him. Wang Lin revealed a complex emotion when he looked at this old man. Li Qiqing stared at Wang Lin. After a long time, his body jerked and his eyes revealed a look of disbelief. He took a few steps back and shouted, "Who the hell are you?" He had seen Wang Lin a long time ago, and during these hundreds of years, he had seen Wang Lin's statue, so how could he not recognize Wang Lin? However, suddenly seeing Wang Lin made his mind tremble. He didn't know that Wang Lin had returned to planet Suzaku. While Wang Lin silently pondered, he slapped his bag of holding and the heaven-avoiding coffin flew out. Li Muwen was lying inside, and there was still a smile on her face. Li Qiqing's body trembled as he looked at the coffin. At this moment, everything before him disappeared and the only thing that existed was his little sister in the coffin. He hadn't seen her in hundreds of years, his only remaining loved one. Little sister, tears came from Li Qiqing's eyes. The ruthlessness that was in his eyes a moment ago disappeared and was replaced with familial love. Before father and mother left, they made me promise to take care of you. Big brother was useless to not be able to take care of you. Li Qiqing's face was filled with sadness as he looked at the woman in the coffin. A heart-wrenching pain filled his body. Wang Lin didn't speak and silently stood on the side. Time seemed to last forever as it slowly passed. All kind of thoughts drowned Li Qiqing's mind as he sat next to the coffin looking at his little sister. Just at this moment, a roar came from the distance and 3 rays of sword energy came with it. The sword energy in front was red and an old man was standing on top of it. This person was at the late stage of soul transformation. His face was filled with arrogance and the 2 middle-aged men behind him looked at the old man with respect. Li Qiqing, I want to see where you can run off to now. The old man sneered as he closed in. He immediately saw Li Qiqing and the coffin with Li Muwen inside. Along with them, he also saw Wang Lin. This strange scene caused him to stop and his eyes lit up. He carefully looked at the coffin and noticed rich celestial spiritual energy coming from within it. Greed immediately appeared in his eyes. However, when his gaze fell on Wang Lin, he was immediately startled. He felt like this person looked familiar. While he was pondering, Wang Lin coldly looked at him. This gaze caused the old man's mind to tremble violently. The sword energy under his feet collapsed and he subconsciously took a few steps back while coughing up blood. His eyes were filled with terror, but at this moment, he recognized Wang Lin. Wang Lin. The old man gasped and lost his wit as he turned to escape. While he ran, he grabbed his 2 disciples and threw them without hesitation in order to stop Wang Lin's pursuit. He shouted, "Explode!" The Scarlet Blood Ancestor was a cautious person, and he had planted controlling seals in all the disciples under him. Under his control, the 2 disciples' bodies exploded into a mist of blood that charged toward Wang Lin. Taking this opportunity, he escaped while trembling. His mind was blank, the only thought in his mind was to escape. His scalp was numb and his heart was filled with fear. He always had a thorn in his heart, and that thorn was back when he chased after a female cultivator near the border between the Sea of Devils and the country of Hufen. He met a junior who saved that female cultivator and then escaped into the Sea of Devils. Originally, he wouldn't care about it at all, but as time passed and the name Seng Nyo became more famous, he trembled. He recognized Seng Nyo as the junior that saved the female cultivator and escaped into the Sea of Devils. What made him even more shocked was the series of events that followed. This Seng Nyo shined during the war between the Forsaken Immortal clan and the country of Suzaku. Afterward, he found out that the current Suzaku position was given to Ju Wutai by Seng Nyo, who was Wang Lin. All of this made him very cautious, and it wasn't until Wang Lin left planet Suzaku that he finally relaxed. However, he would have never expected to meet Wang Lin today. He shouldn't be able to remember me. The man's mind trembled, but he continued to hope for a miracle. "It's you." A flash of cold light appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. With Wang Lin's intelligence, he was immediately able to see through what had happened. This person had come here to kill Li Muwen's brother, and their feud was very likely related to what happened back then. Killing intent flashed through Wang Lin's eyes. He waved his hand and the impact from the blood mist created by the two cultivators exploding was pushed right back toward the old man. The old man was terrified and he wanted to teleport, but it was too late. He was caught by the blood mist and bursts of screams came from inside the blood mist. Wang Lin waved his right hand. There was a boom as more blood mist appeared. Eventually, all of the blood dissipated into nothing. From start to end, Li Qiqing didn't raise his head, as if he wasn't aware of his surroundings at all. In his eyes, there was only Li Muwen. Time passed. After a long time, Li Qiqing took a deep breath and became sober. He carefully looked at Li Muwen inside the coffin as if he wanted to engrave his sister in his heart. Then he stood up and walked off into the distance without even looking at Wang Lin. With the death of the Scarlet Blood ancestor, the red lines on Li Qiqing's face were broken. Wang Lin looked at Li Qiqing's figure but didn't speak. He understood Li Qiqing's thoughts. Li Qiqing's indifferent actions meant that he didn't want to have any ties with Wang Lin. After letting out a sigh, Wang Lin put the heaven-avoiding coffin in his bag and then flew into the sky. All karma has been dealt with. Wang Lin floated in the air and looked at planet Suzaku below him. This planet was considered half-abandoned, as the spiritual energy was very weak. Ju Wutai, since you're the Suzaku, then I'll use planet Suzaku to complete my karma with you. Wang Lin's eyes were calm as ripples appeared under his feet and he disappeared. Wang Lin's figure appeared next to an uninhabited planet in the Alliance star system. While looking at the planet before him, he raised his right hand. His early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivation appeared without reservation and his eyes lit up. Then his right hand reached out and mercilessly pulled back. The planet trembled violently. A moment later, an ancient aura came from the planet, as if there was a giant, invisible hand pulling it. Planet soul extraction. Wang Lin didn't exact it all but stopped after taking 1/3 of it. Although losing 1/3 of the planet soul would affect the planet, it wouldn't be too drastic. Along the way, Wang Lin extracted the souls of several planets. Even with his cultivation, he felt tired. Unfortunately, the big-headed boy couldn't merge with the world, so only he could do something like this. One day later, Wang Lin merged with the world while holding the planet souls he had extracted and returned to planet Suzaku. The moment he appeared over Suzaku, an ancient aura came from his right hand. In his palm were 7 balls of light. Each ball gave off an ancient aura. These were the planet souls he had extracted. After taking a deep breath, Wang Lin's left hand picked up a ball and flicked it. This ball of light flew at an extremely fast speed and instantly fused with planet Suzaku. Planet Suzaku suddenly trembled. This wasn't the planet itself trembling but the soul of the planet. At this moment, a large amount of spirit veins appeared deep inside planet Suzaku. It began to slowly recover its vitality from its half-abandoned state. Wang Lin didn't stop. He picked up the second ball of soul and flicked at the planet. Planet Suzaku's soul trembled even more and spirit veins began to form like crazy. Those mountains that already existed were suddenly filled with spiritual energy. All the mortals only felt a warmth coming from the earth. They felt refreshed and all their illnesses went away. The third, fourth, and fifth souls were all thrown by Wang Lin into the planet. At this moment, the cry of a phoenix that only very few cultivators could hear came from planet Suzaku. It was as if Suzaku had regained vitality. Inside the earth, spiritual energy reappeared in dried-up spirit veins. At this moment, the amount of spiritual energy on planet Suzaku reached a certain height. Not only this, but all the cultivators felt the spiritual energy on the planet become active. It even caused the spiritual energy inside their bodies to active on its own. Feeling the surrounding spiritual energy, Wang Lin threw the 6th ball of soul into planet Suzaku. At this moment, the mountains became greener, the water became more clear, and a fragrance seemed to come from the planet. Ripples of vitality echoed across planet Suzaku. When the last ball of soul was thrown into the planet by Wang Lin, the trembling of planet Suzaku's soul reached its peak. Even the talent of those mortals who didn't have obvious talent to cultivate became much stronger. In addition, countless low-level cultivators were able to immediately break through a bottleneck during this massive increase in spiritual energy on the planet. A large number of cultivators from various sects gave up everything they were doing and began to immerse themselves in cultivation. They were absorbing the spiritual energy from the planet like crazy. Although planet Suzaku hadn't reached the quality of a top-quality planet, it was no longer half-abandoned. Its spiritual energy had reached the peak of its prime. Ju Wutai stood on top of Mount Suzaku as he looked at the sky with a complex gaze. He exhaled deeply and muttered, "Thank you, Brother Wang." In the country of Suzaku before a sect, an old cultivator that looked exactly like Huanglong smiled and shook his head. To use the soul of 7 planets to replenish the vitality of one is not cost-effective. However, this obviously shows how much this child cares about his homeland, which is good. I don't know what he will choose in the battle between the All-Heaven star system and the Alliance star system. Wang Lin looked at the earth before taking a step and disappearing. When he reappeared, he was in a valley. The valley looked exactly the same as when he left. The karma has been dealt with, so it is time to leave. However, before leaving, I must head to that place in the Forsaken Immortal clan. Unfortunately, I still can't find a way to increase the celestial origin energy in my body. Otherwise, I could study magic arsenal. Wang Lin's gaze was calm as he looked into the distance. In the Alliance star system, there was an isolated system where there were countless black buildings. These buildings all had different styles, and they looked like large swords that were stabbed into the void. There was a tower at the center. This tower was tens of thousands of feet tall. There were black chains all over the tower connecting it to the surrounding buildings. The Cultivation Alliance was split into 2 sects, 4 temples, and 8 domains. This was the Slaughter Domain. A ghostly figure appeared from the void. It moved like lightning and arrived above a building. This figure knelt down, revealing himself to be an old man. He bowed toward the center tower and said, "Traces of the All-Heaven's new Thunder Celestial, Shu Mu, have been found. Soul Killer Duo, bring Shu Mu's head to me. This will be a gift to the All-Heaven cultivator from the Slaughter Domain." An ice-cold eerie voice came from the tower. An old man was sitting next to the huge pit where the Forsaken Immortal clan was once sealed on planet Suzaku. This old man wore a red robe and had a head of red hair. There was a plant flashing on his forehead with 11 leaves stretched open. However, on top of the 11th leaf, there was another half-leaf. If this half-leaf completely opened, this old man would instantly become a 12-leaf Forsaken Immortal clan member. In the Forsaken Immortal clan, a 12-leaf clan member was equivalent to an illusory yin cultivator. The old man quietly sat there. He was motionless as if he was eternal. On this day, 4 rays of light flew across the sky, and the old man opened his eyes as he looked into the sky. Just as he was about to speak, his body trembled as he stared at one person among the 4 rays of light. Wang Lin landed on the ground and looked at the deep pit and the old man staring at Ta Shan. After pondering for a moment, he slowly said, "Long time no see, Senior Yun Kazi." The old man was Yun Kazi, and his eyes were filled with shock. He withdrew his gaze from Ta Shan and a storm set off in his heart. He looked at Wang Lin and bitterly said, "I merely started cultivating before you, no need to call me senior." Fellow cultivator Wang Lin, is he a member of my Forsaken Immortal clan? Yun Kazi pointed at Ta Shan. Ta Shan's expression was cold. He didn't even look at Yun Kazi. He is a member of the chosen Immortal clan. Wang Lin let out a sigh and walked into the deep pit. Ta Shan followed, and as for the big-headed boy, he smiled foolishly at Yun Kazi before following Wang Lin in. When he saw the smile of the big-headed boy, a pressure from his soul exploded forth. His face turned pale and the complex emotion on his face became even stronger. Lei Ji followed after. He was extremely respectful to Wang Lin, especially after seeing Wang Lin's spells. Wang Lin was able to change the spiritual energy of planet Suzaku, which shocked him greatly. He had heard of this spell before. Only cultivators whose names spread far across the Alliance star system could sow something like this. Yun Kazi wryly smiled and his body flickered as he entered the deep pit. Along the way, Wang Lin didn't move that fast. He slowly moved through the immortal graveyard. The forsaken immortal clan had moved out of here, and there was no one left. As he descended layer by layer, Wang Lin remembered that the deepest he went was the 11th layer. There, he met the third ancestor of the forsaken immortal clan and was hunted by her until he took out the scroll that sealed the woman from the Seong family. Only then was he able to escape that crisis. Through the horror displayed on the face of the forsaken immortal clan third ancestor's face, Wang Lin knew that the scroll was somehow connected to the forsaken immortal clan. The deeper he went down, the darker it became, as if there hadn't been people here for hundreds of years. There were no signs of life, only rich yin energy. If it was before, Wang Lin would feel discomfort from this yin energy, and as he descended, he would eventually be unable to move forward due to the yin energy. However, this yin energy was really insignificant. He didn't even need to activate his origin energy. This yin energy seemed to possess intelligence and didn't dare to approach him at all. As he descended, the yin energy formed a vortex before him, as if it was opening a passage for him. As he moved, Wang Lin pondered. The forsaken immortal clan and the chosen immortal clan were obviously the same people. He was even more certain now after seeing Yun Kei's response to the big-headed boy. This clan wasn't afraid of celestial spiritual energy from celestial jades, but once celestial origin energy came from a celestial, a force would come from their soul to make them yield. The key to all of this was celestial origin energy. Thinking of celestial origin energy, Wang Lin felt bitter. The celestial origin energy he had was a gift from Qing Shui and was not unlimited. Every time he used a celestial spell, it would consume some of it. If he couldn't find a way to replenish it, it would eventually be exhausted. The celestial spells Qing Shui gave him, Summon the Rain and Magical Arsenal, all had high celestial origin energy requirements. If he didn't have enough, he wouldn't even be able to learn them, much less use them. This was also why Qing Shui wanted Wang Lin to enter the celestial pool and why he gifted Wang Lin the celestial origin energy. However, there were too many disadvantages to entering the celestial pool, so Wang Lin wasn't willing to choose it. Although he had celestial origin energy in his body, there weren't a lot of ways to replenish it. Even if he were to absorb celestial spiritual energy from celestial jades, he still wouldn't be able to from celestial origin energy in his body. After taking the big-headed boy as his servant, Wang Lin tried, but it still didn't work. Left with no choice, Wang Lin could only conserve his use of celestial origin energy. Not long after, Wang Lin arrived at the 11th layer for the second time. This 11th layer wasn't large. There were many gulches on the floor with red liquid flowing through them. In Wang Lin's eyes, they form a blood symbol. The 11th layer was empty, with only the sound of the liquid moving. Yun Kei slowly said, "This one of the forsaken immortal clan's ancestral marks." This place had a total of 19 layers. Aside from the earliest ancestors, the descendants could only reach the 16th layer. No one could enter the last 3 layers. Wang Lin nodded, then his divine sense spread out and found the entrance to the 12th layer. In a flash, he charged toward that entrance. 12th layer, 13th layer, 14th layer, 15th layer, 16th layer. With Wang Lin's cultivation, he faced no obstructions and directly arrived at the 16th layer. There were also blood-red tattoos on the floor of the 16th layer, but they were much more complex. Just looking at them would make one confused. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he looked at the 13 coffins placed here. Each had a tattoo flashing above it. There was a black pool of water at the very center. It gave off waves of yin energy that filled the layer. Red liquid was coming from the tattoos and flowed into the pool, forming a cycle. What was strange was that the red liquid became black once it entered the pool, but once the black liquid flowed out of the pool, it turned red again. This place is a bit interesting. Wang Lin moved next to the pool of water and carefully looked at it. Yun Kei silently pondered for a moment and then said, "Only the ancestor who had reached the 12-leaf stage could enter back then. These coffins should all be ancestors of my forsaken immortal clan. Rumor has it that the 18th layer has the origin of my forsaken immortal clan. As for the 19th floor, it was rumored to hold the remnant souls of my forsaken immortal clan's first ancestor. Fellow cultivator Wang, if you can break into the 18th layer, Please look at our past and allow me to comprehend my ancestors' origin. He looked at Wang Lin. The little boy from the past had disappeared and was replaced with a powerful cultivator who could easily shake planet Suzaku with a stamp of his foot. During these last few days, he wondered if this powerful cultivator exists if he hadn't helped Wang Lin reach the soul formation stage. Wang Lin looked at Yun Kazi and nodded. He owed Yun Kazi even though he found out that Yun Kazi had other motives. The yin energy coming out from the black water was very powerful, and there was seal on it. From Wang Lin's view, not even someone at the peak of the corporeal yang stage could break this seal. In addition, there were certain bloodline requirements on the seal. If one didn't have the Forsaken Immortal bloodline, it was even more difficult to enter. No wonder no one could enter the 17th layer. This kind of powerful seal is not something an ordinary cultivator can open. Wang Lin pondered as he stared at the black pool. He naturally had his own reasons for coming here. The reason was the yellow talisman the Yarrow family member took out when battling Wang Lin. There was a very strange power within that talisman that completely sealed the power inside his body. Even today, Wang Lin clearly remembered what happened. He still had one more talisman on him. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin calmly said, "Big head, use all your power and display your most powerful celestial spell at the pool." The big-headed boy didn't waste time. The celestial origin energy in his body began to move. A storm of celestial origin energy erupted from his body and created a huge pressure. Yun Kazi was the first that couldn't withstand it. He subconsciously retreated and his face turned pale. It was as if there was a power coming from his soul forcing him to yield. If he didn't yield, he would be torn apart. Under this force, Yun Kazi let out a roar. The veins on his face popped and he struggled desperately. Fortunately, the big-headed boy wasn't targeting Yun Kazi, so this allowed him to struggle. As the big-headed boy's celestial origin energy cycled, he pointed at his head. His head immediately grew twice as large and red tendons flew out, creating a huge impact at the pool of water. There was a heaven-shattering bang as a ripple was set off inside the pool and it began to slowly rotate. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He clearly saw that the seal on the pool of water was showing signs of breaking under the big-headed boy's attack. However, the signs were not obvious. Just as they were about to disappear, Wang Lin's two fingers formed a sword. Then thunder filled his eyes and the heavens' thunder seemed to gather like crazy toward his finger. As he stepped forward, he pointed at the pool of water. This caused countless bolts of lightning to shoot out from Wang Lin's fingers, and they flew like dragons toward the pool of water. There was a loud bang and large amount of cracks appeared on the floor of the 16th layer. Large amounts of yin energy came out from the crack and a huge wave was set off in the pool of water. The pool floated into the air and changed into a black tattoo within the moving thunder. This tattoo was too complex, and it was so dense that it was impossible to clearly see what it looked like. However, Wang Lin didn't care what it looked like. He didn't want the seal's approval, he wanted to break it open by force. Popping sounds came from the tattoo as the thunder moved around it. Every time two bolts of thunder collided, the tattoo would tremble. As it trembled, it began to shatter and layers of seals collapsed. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold as he raised his right hand and the Wither Dao pair suddenly appeared. After the beast bone came out, there was a flash of light and an evil aura filled the area. The collapsing tattoo suddenly trembled as a grey light appeared and began it to turn to stone. At this moment, Ta Shan stepped out and threw a punch. A loud bang echoed within the 16th layer and then the tattoo collapsed. As the thunder moved, there were a series of popping sounds as the tattoo turned into countless specks of black light and dissipated. At the moment it disappeared, a transfer array appeared in the pool. The transfer array gave off a strange glow. There was a man who looked like Huang Long in a sect on planet Suzaku. He was talking to a few low-level cultivators with a smile on his face when he suddenly looked into the distance. This was also the instant the passage to the 17th layer opened. After a long time, he withdrew his gaze and thought, forget it, there is nothing he can't see on the 17th layer. That little guy's cultivation has reached a point where he can know certain secrets. However, the 17th layer is his limit, he won't be able to enter the 18th layer. In the 16th layer of the Immortal Graveyard, Ta Shan stepped into the transfer array and disappeared. Wang Lin waited a moment to confirm there was no danger before stepping in as well. The big-headed boy, Lei Ji, and Yun Keizi quickly entered the transfer array as well. The 17th layer of the Forsaken Graveyard was completely dark without any light and was filled with a powerful death aura. At this moment, the light of a transfer formation suddenly appeared at the center. With the help of this light, the surroundings became visible. This was an area thousands of feet wide with chains hanging everywhere. There were corpses hanging on the chains, and what the chains gave off was celestial spiritual energy. These corpses were all celestials. But this celestial spiritual energy had no vitality and was filled with death, as if these corpses had been here for countless years. In an instant, the light from the formation disappeared and several people appeared. Ta Shan was the first person to enter this place. After he entered, his eyes lit up and he looked around. Even with his indifference, his pupils shrank as he looked around. This place was completely dark, but it couldn't obstruct divine sense. When Wang Lin appeared, he spread out his divine sense and his expression became gloomy. Not only him, but the big-headed boy's face turned pale after seeing everything. He had entered the celestial pool and lost his domain to truly become a celestial. So the shock he got from seeing the 17th layer was far beyond what the others felt. What horrified him even more was that his powerful celestial origin was trembling as if there was a strange force suppressing it. Under this suppression, the big-headed boy seemed to be able to hear mournful cries. His face turned pale and his body trembled as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, Wang Lin noticed what was happening to the big-headed boy and placed his right hand on the big-headed boy's back. Wang Lin injected a large amount of origin energy, which allowed the big-headed boy to become sober. He looked at the surroundings with deep awe. Yun Keizi was completely different from the big-headed boy. He clearly felt the aura of his ancestors here. The tattoo on his body began to move on its own. It quickly shrank and began to degrade. The tattoos on his body moved like flowing water. It was as if there was an invisible force squeezing the tattoos to gather toward Yun Keizi's chest. What surprised Yun Keizi was that his original respect for the big-headed boy had now changed. It was as if there was a force suppressing that respect. Wang Lin was also affected. After entering, Wang Lin immediately realized that the celestial origin energy given to him by Qing Shui was suppressed. It was as if it had been submerged in water and began to move a lot slower. The surroundings were completely silent and dark. However, for Wang Lin and company, they could clearly see everything. This 17th layer wasn't very big, and there were countless chains hanging from the surrounding the walls, locking the corpses in place. These corpses were all like mummies, and their pelvises were pierced by the chains. Some of them even had chains going through their shoulder blades. These corpses were densely packed. There were at least 100. There were traces of being whipped on all these corpses. It seemed they all had suffered unimaginable torture before they died miserably. There were tattoos flashing on their bodies. Every time the tattoos flashed, the celestial spiritual energy coming from their bodies would become even stronger. As for why celestial spiritual energy was leaking from their bodies, it was because their origin souls were sealed inside their bodies by a powerful spell. Their bodies had died, so endless death aura was eroding their origin souls. Their origin souls, however, kept their consciousness but couldn't leave the bodies. They could only watch helplessly as their bodies dried up and let the death aura invade them until they were wiped out. This kind of torture released a powerful hatred for celestials. This hatred was absolute and shocked Wang Lin greatly. Yun Keizi stared dumbfoundedly at everything before him and couldn't say a word for a long time. These are celestials. When they were alive, their cultivation levels were all a bit higher than mine. The big-headed boy felt most connected to this place, and he felt inexplicably disturbed here. Just at this moment, there were sounds of chains colliding. One of the mummies began to move and a tattoo flashed. The tattoo penetrated into the mummy and fused with it. At this moment, the mummy suddenly opened its eyes. There was no light in its eyes and its eye sockets were completely hollow. However, unimaginable hatred and killing intent exploded from those eyes. Celestial. Die. A roar echoed and the chain on the corpse suddenly turned transparent. In almost an instant, it dissipated. Without the chain, the mummy immediately rushed out. A strange celestial spiritual energy formed a storm as it charged at the big-headed boy. The big-headed boy's face turned pale and he subconsciously took a few steps back. His eyes revealed a vicious gaze as his hand formed a seal and his celestial origin energy activated. He was about to use a celestial spell. However, just at this moment, something strange suddenly occurred. The moment the big-headed boy's celestial origin energy activated, it began to scatter and dissipate. The rate of dissipation was far faster than what the big-headed boy had expected. Before he even used his celestial spell, a large amount of his celestial origin energy dissipated. This made him almost lose his wits. Seeing the mummy closing in, Wang Lin's eyes turned cold and he took a step forward. His finger pressed down on the void and the origin energy in his body surged. There was a bang and the mummy was knocked back dozens of feet. Tarshan charged out like lightning and his right hand formed a first. A tattoo appeared on his fist, and when the mummy saw the tattoo, it immediately became respectful and retreated as if it didn't dare to exchange blows with Tarshan. Yun Kazi stared at the scene before him. At this instant, it was as if lightning had struck him. He recalled a rumor from long time ago. This is my Forsaken Immortal clan's torture chamber. Rumor has it that when the oldest Forsaken Immortal clan ancestor came to planet Suzaku, he opened up a layer outside the last two and named it the torture chamber. If people not from my Forsaken Immortal clan entered, they would immediately be killed. I didn't expect this to be real. As Yun Kaze's voice echoed, the chains began to echo once more. At this moment, all of the corpses being held by the chains suddenly opened their eyes. Vicious gazes came from their faces, and as they let out roars, the chains that were holding them disappeared, allowing them freedom. Each one of them was like a ferocious beast, and they charged straight at Wang Lin, the big-headed boy, and Lei Ji. Wang Lin's eyes became cold. As he let out a cold snort, his hand formed a seal and he shouted, "Call the wind." After he spoke, a black wind appeared around his right hand and suddenly filled the 17th layer. A monstrous gust of black wind swept forward like crazy. As the black wind roared, two black dragons formed and roared. They blasted out endless cold wind that spread out with Wang Lin as the center. The corpses immediately stopped and retreated. Although they were powerful before death, they were being controlled by a mysterious power after death and thus were far weaker than before. However, there were a lot of corpses, so they couldn't be underestimated. As the black wind roared, tattoos began to flash on the corpses. A seal was suddenly formed, and although the seal was invisible, it immediately pressed down. This wasn't the first time Wang Lin had seen this kind of seal. It had brought him a great deal of trouble during his war with the Yarrow family. He immediately realized this, and his expression changed. Wang Lin quickly took a step forward as ripples appeared under his feet and he disappeared without a trace. The black wind roared as the two black dragons swept from both sides and caught countless corpses. It was as if these corpses were being tied up. There were a few corpses that directly collapse. Wang Lin's figure appeared next to one of the corpses. His eyes were ruthless as his finger filled with thunder intent pressed down. When his finger pointed down, countless thunderbolts appeared from the void and gathered on his finger. Wang Lin's finger landed on the skull of the corpse. The corpse's body trembled violently and his empty eyes showed a moment of clarity. There was a hint of relief as his body collapsed and disappeared. And as soon as he disappeared, celestial origin energy left his body and entered Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, and after observing, he found that it didn't harm him. Instead, it fused with the celestial origin energy Celestial Lord Qing Shui gave him. This discovery made Wang Lin ecstatic. Wang Lin couldn't find a method to increase the celestial origin energy in his body. Every time he used celestial origin energy, it would be consumed. After enough time had passed, it would be all used up and the celestial core would collapse. In addition, the most important use was to learn Summon the Rain and Magic Arsenal. Summon the Rain was not as bad, but Magic Arsenal was impossible to use or study without celestial origin energy. This was why Wang Lin hadn't studied these two celestial spells. Right now, his eyes lit up and his body flickered. The black wind surrounded the area and he shouted, "Ta Shan, Senior Yun Kazi, guard the center. I'll deal with these out here." Wang Lin took a step and merged into the void. When he appeared, he was next to another mummy. His fingers on his right hand formed a sword and his eyes revealed thunder intent. The mummy turned around and spewed out death aura, and there was a tattoo flying toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin frowned slightly as he retreated and merged with the world to avoid the attack. He appeared next to another mummy and his fingers descended. The moment the mummy turned around, Wang Lin's attack landed on it. The mummy exploded and a large amount of celestial origin energy appeared and entered Wang Lin's body. After he killed one of them, a large amount of the mummies charged out toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light as he stared at the mummies. He could feel powerful celestial origin energy from them. Although these people were powerful when they were alive, their actions were sluggish after death. As a result, it wasn't difficult for Wang Lin to kill them with his early-stage nirvana scrya cultivation. However, at this moment, Wang Lin was considering how to gain the most benefit. Killing them for their celestial origin energy was only one of his goals. He had an even more bold idea in mind. His heart beat rapidly as he retreated to dodge the attacks of the mummies, and he quickly went through the almost crazy idea he had. A moment later, Wang Lin revealed a decisive look and his eyes revealed a strange light. He had obtained the inheritance of Summon the Rain and Magic Arsenal from Qing Shui. Deep in his heart, he preferred Magic Arsenal over Summon the Rain. Although he didn't have any deep understanding of Magic Arsenal from the inheritance process, he had some enlightenments. Magic Arsenal's purpose was to imprison the soul fragments of everyone you killed to prevent them from entering the reincarnation cycle and use them for yourself. That was the essence of Magic Arsenal. However, this kind of spell was definitely not this simple when learning it. You must be able to extract the souls of the people you killed and store them in a fake reincarnation cycle formed by your celestial origin. Only then can you imprison them. More importantly, you must have your own mysterious space created by the celestial spell. This mysterious space was a spell created by Celestial Emperor Bai Fan. When Celestial Emperor Bai Fan used it, it would become a realm. He called it the Mysterious Soldier Realm. This realm would store those soul fragments and refine them like a furnace. This became the base for power of Magic Arsenal. However, this realm was made for Bai Fan, so it was different for others to learn it. Although it wasn't difficult for Qing Shui to learn it with his talent, he didn't. Instead, he opened another path and created his slaughter realm. He didn't need a place to store the souls, he simply used his monstrous killing intent to restrict them, creating a slaughter realm. None of the people he killed could escape his control. Qing Shui's arrogance made him call this his own creation, celestial spell confinement. After Magic Arsenal was passed to Wang Lin, he didn't consider using the mysterious realm nor confinement. Wang Lin thought that his own version of this celestial spell should use his own life and death Dao to form his own reincarnation cycle. Right now, these mummies moved Wang Lin. These mummies weren't without souls, their souls were trapped inside their origin souls, which had fused with their bodies after being imprisoned for countless years. If he could incorporate all of them into his own reincarnation cycle, then he would have a lot of soul fragments to use when he uses Magic Arsenal. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. As he stepped forward, he pointed up and shouted, "Reincarnation Underworld River." In an instant, it was as if a mysterious force had emerged in the world and charged in. The Underworld River appeared above Wang Lin, and the resentment inside it was monstrous. This Underworld River coiled around Wang Lin and moved with him. He took a step out and his arms stretched open. His eyes were filled with thunder intent as a swirl appeared between his brows. His ancient thunder dragon origin soul flew out and let out a roar. Roar. He was exercising his control over thunder. This roar was earth-shattering. Even though he was in the 17th layer of the immortal graveyard, this thunderous roar caused an unimaginable change on planet Suzaku. Large amounts of thunderclouds suddenly appeared in the sky. They were filled with lightning, and all of them suddenly descended, heading straight for the immortal graveyard. There was too much thunder. As it gathered, the deep pit in the Forsaken Immortal clan was filled with boundless thunder. The pit was like a funnel, and all of the thunder was charging into it. Not only on planet Suzaku, large changes even occurred in the space around planet Suzaku. Many thunder dragons formed in the void and charged toward planet Suzaku. Countless bolts of thunder within tens of thousands of kilometers around planet Suzaku charged toward planet Suzaku. If one looked from a distance, they would think that the area within tens of thousands of kilometers around planet Suzaku had become a thunder hell. The endless thunder created endless rumbles that echoed across the stars. The thunder condensed and rushed into the deep pit in the forsaken immortal clan. It was as if the thunder was on a pilgrimage and was here to worship the ancestor of all thunder. All of this thunders charged out without any hesitation. At this moment, every sound on planet Suzaku disappeared and was replaced by thunder. The only sound left was the rumble of the thunder. This was like the end of the world, and it caused the expressions of all the cultivators on planet Suzaku to change greatly. The shock coming from the depths of their souls made them tremble. They were like ants trembling before the might of heavens. As for the mortals, they all knelt on the ground. Not only planet Suzaku was affected. At this moment, there was a group of 100 cultivators moving through space, and the leader was the six-fingered cultivator. As he moved, his expression immediately changed greatly and he stared ahead. With his cultivation, he could vaguely feel that the thunder ahead was extremely dense, almost to a point beyond imagination. His scalp felt numb. In his mind, he could only remember when Shumu used the thunder in one line to heavens and killed the big-headed boy. Could it be that Shumu is ahead? Forget it, let's change directions. It's better not to meet that person. The six-fingered cultivator wryly smiled as he changed directions and took a detour. This power of thunder was extremely powerful, and it went into the deep pit. A thunderous rumble echoed as it went from the first layer until it arrived into the 17th layer Wang Lin was in. In almost an instant, the entire 17th layer was filled with thunder. It had reached an unimaginable degree as the thunder roared. Thunder rumbles continued to echo in the 17th layer. Almost every single mummy was surrounded by countless bolts of thunder. When the thunder landed, the impact caused the entire place to tremble. With a bang, one of the mummies collapsed and its celestial origin energy flew out toward Wang Lin. Then the underworld river swept by and extracted the soul. It was like a soul returning to the afterlife. This scene occurred repeatedly in the surroundings. In the end, when the thunder had reached an unimaginable density, all of it suddenly collapsed and exploded. This explosion created an extremely powerful thunderstorm. As it swept the area, all of the mummies collapsed and a large amount of celestial origin energy rushed into Wang Lin's body. The celestial origin core inside his body grew like crazy. In just a moment, it grew several-fold and was now the size of a baby's fist. In addition, as the underworld river filled the area, the souls were pulled out into the underworld river. The resentment in the river became much stronger. There were hundreds of celestial souls who were struggling or showing relief in the underworld river. This scene was so strange that if a mortal saw it, they would be scared out of their mind. When all the thunder collapsed, on top forming the thunderstorm, all the power was condensed into one spot. This caused an unimaginable impact that shook the entire 17th layer. There was a heaven-shattering bang and the 17th layer collapse. Rays of light came from below and the collapse forced open the passage to the 18th layer. Yun Kei's mind was completely blank as he witnessed this. He had already regarded Wang Lin very highly, but now he found that he had underestimated Wang Lin. The spell that could open the 18th layer had shaken his mind and left him terrified. The big-headed boy's body trembled. The spell that killed him in one line to heaven made him tremble and his fear toward Wang Lin grew even stronger. Ta Shan still showed no expression, but Lei Ji gasped. The thunder before him had shaken him. To become the mount of someone so strong, not only did he not feel unwilling, he felt a sense of honor. The cultivation world respected the strong. The moment the 18th layer was opened by the force of thunder on planet Suzaku, the old cultivator that looked like Huanglong was startled. He took a step and disappeared. The 18th layer can't be entered. This video will end here.